for the people that know about the store Dollar General, it's a cheap it's a cheap place. Basically, it's all cheap items anyway, nothing more than a few dollars at most. It's very popular because people like shopping there because of the cheap items that you could buy, and they're spreading across America, meaning that they're setting up stores all around America basically. But it also happens to be a robbery magnet. It's like it's in the top 10 as one of the places that constantly gets robbed. In the year before Dave Dukes killed a man who was trying to rob the store where he worked, he witnessed 3 other robberies in that same store. After each of them, Dukes, 28, would say later he'd asked his supervisors at the Dollar General to put in a security guard. But according to Dukes, the bosses didn't listen, though because of how many robberies he had been through, they did start sending him out to train employees at other stores. After the 3rd robbery, Dukes started bringing a gun to work. Then in October of 2019, the 4th robbery happened. According to the local prosecutor's office, a man entered the store with a gun and demanded money from the cashier. When Dukes tried to intervene, the man, Roosevelt Rapley, just 23 years old, had pointed his gun at Dukes. Dukes then pulled out his own gun and shot Rapley, killing him instantly. A grand jury in Ohio reviewed the case and found Dukes acted lawfully under the circumstances, according to the prosecutor's office. But by then, Dukes was out of a job, allegedly having been fired by Dollar General for violating company policy. Dollar General's 2019 policy said that a possession of a firearm on the company premises will result in termination. Dollar General declined to say why Dukes was terminated, saying that in an email it does not comment publicly on specific employment situations. The company said that it does not retaliate against employees who make good faith reports of safety concerns. It also maintains that the safety of its employees is a top priority. Rapley's family is still trying to process his death, and 8 months later, after the robbery, Rapley's sister, Jasmine Jessery, said in an interview that she didn't hold a grudge against Dukes. He was protecting himself. She said he did what anybody else would do in their situation. Jessery described her brother as a kind person who had linked up with the wrong crowd. Everything went sour then, she said. Business is booming at Dollar General, with the chain adding more stores every year than any other retailer in America. That was the case even before this coronavirus pandemic, but Dollar General has been in an even stronger position during the pandemic as a price-conscious consumer stock up on essential items. Dollar General has kept its stores open since the coronavirus hit, and its stock price has rallied 23% since the beginning of the year, even as the S&P 500 has lost 5%. In March, the company announced a goal of hiring up to 50,000 new workers to meet increased customer demand. The former executives, store employees, law enforcement officials, and retail security experts told CNN Business that while the company's low-cost, no-frills model might be embraced by Wall Street, it's putting its workers at risk. Dollar General stores, which process a high number of cash transactions, are a prime target for armed robberies. They said some of the former company officials and current and former employees spoke in the condition of anonymity, either to discuss internal conversations or for fear that speaking out would impact their jobs. Every night I was just waiting for there to be a phone call that said, "Hey, we've lost somebody." Brian Flannery, who oversaw security at around 2,000 Dollar General stores in the Northeast as a divisional loss prevention director from 2011 to 2015. It wasn't a matter thereof if you're going to have a bad robbery. It was a matter of when the robbery was going to occur. At least six Dollar General employees have died during the robbery since 2016, according to a review of the news and police reports. And while the FBI doesn't specifically track robberies at dollar stores as it does those which occur at the convenience stores and gas stations, other robbery targets police have warned company managers that its stores are vulnerable. In a statement in response to the story, Dollar General said, "We employ a number of measures designed to create and maintain a safe work environment for our employees and a safe shopping environment for our customers, all while protecting the company assets." The company said that its safety and security measures take federal and state laws, retail industry standards, and law enforcement recommendations into account, and its measures are designed to prevent, deter, and if necessary, respond to criminal activity in our stores. Our employees are our greatest asset. Their safety and security is of paramount importance, Dollar General added. The problem of robberies isn't exclusive to Dollar General. In an interview with CNN Business, Jason Hall, a lieutenant with the Dayton Police Department, described local dollar stores as robbery magnets. He has tracked robberies at local chains during Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, and Dollar General over the last few years, and Dollar General by far had the most robberies. In Dayton alone, police were called to 86 robberies at just 7 different Dollar General stores between 2016 and 2019. Robberies at Dollar General locations accounted for 29% of the 80 commercial robberies in the city in 2019 alone, according to figures provided by the department. Dollar General declined to comment on how much it spends annually on crime prevention or any specific measures in its stores to protect workers and prevent robberies, as to do so potentially compromises the integrity of those measures. It provides a roadmap to would-be wrongdoers and may place customers and employees at risk. As other retailers have struggled in recent years, dollar stores have enjoyed breakneck, like what they call a breakneck growth. The Great Recession, slow wage growth, and widening inequality in America had all boosted discount retailers. Now the pandemic is as well. The two largest players are Dollar General and Dollar Tree, which brought Family Dollar in 2015. There are a few differences between the chains. At Dollar Tree, for example, all items are exactly $1. The stores tend to be in the middle-class suburban areas. Dollar General's more than 16,000 stores, on the other hand, sell items largely in the $1 to $10 range, meaning there's more cash in registers. That makes stores more susceptible to robberies, according to retail security experts. Dollar General stores are predominantly located in the rural areas. About 75% of its stores are in towns with fewer than 20,000 people. Todd Vassos, the company's CEO, has described its core customers as struggling Americans. Dollar General's primary customers make $40,000 a year or below per household. We do very good in good times, and we do fabulous in bad times. Vassos said on a call with Wall Street analysts in May. We're very, very bullish on what the post-COVID looks like, because I think we're very well positioned no matter what this economy does to both our core customers and the customer overall. Investors like Dollar General because it's been relentless at making more with less real estate, less labor, and small product sizes than its larger big box competitors. In its latest fiscal year, Walmart's U.S. stores had a 5.1 operating profit margin before taxes. Dollar General stores boasted an 8.3 margin, and an indicator that Dollar General is more efficient at keeping costs low and turning sales into profits. Since 2010, Dollar General's annual profits have increased fivefold, and its stock has surged more than 800%. Its locations have nearly doubled, and now the chain boasts more U.S. stores than Walmart, Kroger, Costco, and Home Depot combined. A record 25,000 retail stores are expected to close this year, but Dollar General still plans to open 1,000 new locations by 2020, or roughly 20 new stores within a week. But the company's low-cost approach often comes at the expense of employees, former executives said. Efforts to keep costs down have also kept the company's leadership from wanting to take bigger steps in security, these executives said. Visibility inside the stores is often poor for workers because of the design. According to law enforcement officials, stores tend to be small and crowded with high shelves and piles of boxes and carts lining the aisles. Some police patrolling outside complained that it's difficult to see inside because windows are covered with advertisements and signs, which is true. The Dollar General said in an email that we continually review and, as needed, adapt operating procedures and store layout and fixturing. Staffing is intentionally kept at a minimum, often with just one or two low-wage employees on site at any given time, former executive said. And although store registers are often flush with cash because it's what many customers used to pay, security guards are rarely on the premises because of that. Security guards were viewed as costly to the company's bottom line, the former executive also said. One former Dollar General executive described the difficulty in convincing other company leaders that security guards could deliver a positive return on investment. We certainly didn't get a return having somebody standing there and paying $10 or $12 an hour, the former executive said. Out of the 13,000 stores when I was there, probably less than 100 stores had some type of outside security. Another of the former Dollar General executives who focused on security said he was heavily chastised for frequently going over budget on monthly guard expenses. Adding staff to stores would have also jeopardized the low-cost model. It's a low-margin business, so you have to have low labor costs to make a profit, said one of the former executives. Putting more labor in the stores took away from the profit, or you have to raise prices, and there was no appetite to raise prices because it's a low-price business. The company has invested in interactive security monitoring services at thousands of stores in higher crime neighborhoods or that have experienced frequent incidents. Cameras are monitored by off-site security agents. The agents can communicate with employees in the store and make public announcements over the loudspeakers, letting customers know they are on camera. If the agents see a robbery or suspicious activity at the store, they can alert the local police. There are also two-way phones and panic buttons that employees can press to talk directly with the security agent if they are in distress. Interface Security Systems, one of the services that Dollar General uses, boasts on its website that its technology helps companies reduce security guards' costs by 88%. Dollar General also has used iVerify, another off-site monitoring company. Earlier this year, Securitas Electronic Security acquired the customer contracts of iVerify. The remote monitoring systems can be effective at determining shoplifting inside the store, according to experts. But unlike human security guards, who can act as a visible physical deterrent, they are less effective at deterring robberies, according to police. Former employees at iVerify and Interface and retail security consultants. One former iVerify executive said, "It's rare that you're going to be looking at a video when the robbery occurs." He said the remote monitoring was better suited for investigating robberies after they occurred. Securitas, the company that now owns iVerify, customer contracts, did not respond to requests for comment. A representative for Interface said that there's a place for both remote interactive monitoring and security guards in most retail chains, and that its interactive remote monitoring systems with live video and a two-way audio were a strong crime deterrent. When robberies do occur, some of the former Dollar General executives said that the company offered reactive short-term measures, such as adding a security guard to a store for a few weeks. It was literally what they referred to as a whack-a-mole. You would get the okay to spend cash when there was an incident. A reactive security program in that kind of environment is not what you're looking for, said Flannery, the former divisional loss prevention director at Dollar General. Dollar General said it disagreed with Flannery's characterization of its security efforts, and that it doesn't believe those assertions are supported by facts. The safety concerns take a toll on some workers anyway. When Kenya Slaughter works the cash register at a Dollar General in Alexandria, Louisiana, she makes sure that she has enough $1 bills and $10 bills in the drawer so she won't have to go back into the safe. When she has to take out money from the safe behind the register, she strategically positions herself so she's not opening it with her back turned. Still, potential robbers know we don't have security and that people are in there alone, she said. Indeed, Dollar General employees told NBC News in reports last month that they have been stabbed, shot, and held at gunpoint. In recent years, Dollar General has focused on solving another problem. Current and former staffers said that there was an intense urgency to combat shrink or merchandise loss due to shoplifting, employee theft, or inventory errors. In its latest annual reports filed in March, Dollar General called the problem significant, noting that higher rates of inventory shrinkage or increased security or other costs to combat inventory theft could adversely affect the results of operations and financial conditions. The sources said that they felt that the company had prioritized reducing shrink over preventing robberies, which had a human toll. In the 2 years that people had set in executive meetings, they never remembered anybody bringing up armed robberies as a problem. They talked about loss of product and store management turnover. Said one former top Dollar General executive, the people that are below the store management level are just a commodity. The obsession with reducing shrink was often turned inward, with Dollar General treating some of its workers with constant suspicion, said Tracy Vargas, who was an assistant professor of sociology and criminal justice at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. Vargas had worked at a Dollar General store for a little over a year for her PhD dissertation on dollar stores at Syracuse University. She also interviewed 50 different employees from across the country. In her dissertation, she described workers being treated like criminals, with surveillance cameras often focused on their activities rather than on the customers. Dollar General said its understanding is that Vargas' employment with the company was intended solely to validate her preconceived notions regarding the company for purposes of a book that she was writing, rather than in furtherance of serving the customers and communities that rely on them. It added, "We categorically deny the assertions." A 13-foot poster in the store back room, known as the shrink chart, displayed performance statistics including the number of times each employee voided cash register transactions that week. Vargas said a large number of voided transactions or price checks could be interpreted by managers as a sign of employee theft. Meanwhile, Dollar General provides little training on how to handle robberies, sources told the CNN Business. Former store workers, including Dukes and Vargas, described when they were first hired being shown as a simulation video of a robbery, and there were no hands-on drills, and they did not have to review the video annually. Some of these sources said that in some stores, signs are posted in back rooms giving employees directions on what to do should the unlikely event of a robbery occur. Vargas had told CNN Business that Dollar General employees are sitting ducks and considered to be profit risks to the corporation's bottom line. Employees are always alone, exposed, and at the mercy of whoever decides to walk through that door that day, she said. In some cities, local officials have urged Dollar General management to take more steps to prevent any violent crime in the future. They say that their warnings have largely gone ignored, which, yeah, they basically have. Dayton police have prepared reports on crime at local Dollar General stores, Dollar Tree and Family Dollar stores on February 1st of 2017. Members of the department presented a Dollar General divisional loss prevention director with a 32-slide, what they call PowerPoint check detailing the factors that the department believes to be enabling factors in robberies. The factors included blocked windows, high shelves, lack of maintenance outside the stores, and lack of security guards in the high incident locations. It's a fairly large issue for us, said Hall, the Dayton Police Department lieutenant, told CNN News. We have made a lot of recommendations to try to improve these situations. We have noticed that not many of these recommendations have been implemented or fully implemented at all. The Dollar General itself said it enjoys frequent communication with the Dayton Police Department, and that it implemented the department's exterior maintenance suggestions in 2017. The company claimed that the department did not provide specific store safety and security measures. A representative for Dollar Tree in itself, which owns Family Dollar, said working with and supporting local law enforcement is absolutely important to us. We continually refine our security programs, which includes cooperating with local police departments to share photos and videos to support their investigation. In St. Louis, where there have been high calls for police service for larcenies, disturbances, and holdups at a Dollar General and Family Dollar in recent years, implementing security is often suggested and ignored, said Rich Sikora, who's an attorney for the city of St. Louis. We will take a fresh look at the St. Louis market and implement the appropriate steps, a Dollar Tree representative has said. In a rural Effingham County, Georgia, Sheriff Jimmy McDuffie said that 3 of the 5 Dollar General stores in the area have been hit in recent years. We don't call them dollar stores, we call them stop and robs, he said. McDuffie presented a list of safety concerns to Dollar General stores in the county, he said. He said including recommendations to improve lighting and limit the number of boxes piled up inside the stores, which can make it difficult for officers to see inside. But put in some security measures, he urged. Light the parking lots up. They say they're going to do better, but it doesn't seem to come to fruition, he told CNN. And in the PD region of South Carolina, there have been a string of robberies at Dollar General stores over the past year. None of the stores have added outside cameras that could potentially capture the mode of transportation and the direction of travel of the suspects, said Tammy Irwin, who's a deputy at the Marion County Sheriff's Office in South Carolina. There are no security officers at any given time. These are shifts with only one employee working in the entire store, she said. She added that she wonders why Dollar General won't implement a buddy system of employees so that no one is alone in the store. Dollar General's 2019 Handbook of Operating Procedures says, at a minimum, 2 employees must be involved in the closing process. For safety purposes, always use the buddy system, but there is no mention of a similar policy for opening stores in the morning or at other hours of the day. The company says it tries to minimize the time that employees are alone in the store. The company said it has received no formal safety and security policy change from the sheriff's offices in Effingham County, Georgia, and Marion County, South Carolina. Dollar General said it was aware of a single request from a member of law enforcement in St. Louis who requested that Dollar General implement facial recognition software from a company in which we understood the individual to have a personal and financial interest. Family members of Dollar General employees killed during armed robberies, and security experts say it's not just a lack of the in-store security measures that are the problem. Out of the 6 Dollar General employees killed since 2016, 2 were shot as they left stores to deposit cash from the register at the bank. Some Dollar General employees take cash deposits to the bank by themselves. The company's policy in its 2019 store operating procedure said that stores should make 1 or 2 such deposits each day depending on their location, and that the deposits can only be made by key carriers or the high-ranking officials that work, the high-ranking employees that work at the business. Ron Holder took a job as a store manager at Dollar General in Richmond, Virginia, and hoped to work his way up to the ranks at the company and become a district manager. He was killed in his car outside of a Dollar General one morning after picking up a cash deposit from the store. According to the FBI, his case still remains unsolved. In Houston, a 20-year-old Daquan Anderson was killed in 2017 as he got back in his car to bring cash from the store to his bank. His mother, Janine, has filed a wrongful death lawsuit, and the case has gone to arbitration. Janine Anderson described her son in an interview as an all-around good kid who was active in his church, and he developed a love of photography in high school. He saved up money to buy a camera and equipment and took it everywhere he went. He was always going to have some type of career in art. She said that was his passion. Before his death, Daquan had raised concerns about the bank drop process on multiple occasions, the lawsuit said, but despite previous robberies at the store, Dollar General did not increase its security or hire an outside security company to transport cash to the bank, the lawsuit alleges. Dollar General declined to comment on pending litigation. Meanwhile, Dukes, who was the former Dollar General employee in Dayton, Ohio, is trying to bounce back after the October robbery that changed his life forever. He has had trouble finding work after the shooting. He is hoping to be more present in his kids' lives. I don't regret anything that I did, he said. He's like, I was defending myself. But Dukes believes the robbery could have been avoided if Dollar General had taken his advice and put in permanent armed security. He hopes company executives to start doing more to protect their employees. He says they don't know what's going on inside these stores every day. They don't. Store managers are the ones that deal with it every day. But I would tell them that they need to take better care of their staff, which he has a point.